Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Liftoff. Today, I'm joined by Michael Vanwyck and Ray Ferguson with the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. It's quite the mouthful, but Ray, I'm going to pass it over to you and just tell us a little bit about, you're president of the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce. What's going on down there? What are you guys doing?
We've got a lot of growth. We've got a lot of businesses that are doing well in the area down in Colonial Heights. Petersburg, Dinwiddie area, that's part of the Southern Virginia footprint that we have. And, of course, we got a lot of new things coming in like the casino. We've had the pharmaceutical cluster come in down there. What I really like is the fact that we all kind of work together very nicely. I've been the president almost 2 years now, and basically what I've really seen is just a lot of people in the community, a lot of business owners help each other out. I really enjoy that about this, about the chamber. I've had such a great time with our members and seeing the growth, and we're in a lot of different roundtables, business roundtables to help other businesses. And I do think that a lot of our businesses get a lot out of that, and our luncheons have anywhere between 65 and 135 people. But we've got a good, robust group of chamber members and business owners that are really active, and that's what I think makes everything worthwhile within the chamber.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone who's attended multiple of those events or lunches, I can testify it's a packed house when you go, and it is really cool to see you all working together. And I think I may be a little biased, but I'm not from the Tri-Cities, but you guys do have one of the stronger networks, I feel like, in Virginia. So, maybe, Michael, maybe you can testify to this a little bit too, but what do you think makes that community want to work together so much more as opposed to different commerces throughout Richmond or different chambers?
I guess with it being a smaller area and, all small businesses for the most part, we're all willing to, help each other and bounce ideas off each other and support. The main thing about the chamber is it's support local. Support your local businesses and buy from them, promote them, and help them grow.
Yeah.
And if my 2 cents is we have a excellent executive director in John Brandt. Matter of fact, today is his 10th anniversary of being the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. And
Happy
we've got
anniversary, John.
Oh yeah, and we've got Marco Callender. He's with the Chester and the Petersburg YMCA. He's taken over as president here in March. And Ashley Hennard, she's going to be the second vice president. So we've got just good quality leaders.
Yeah.
And I think that our business owners know that we have good leaders within the community that are running the chamber, and we care about businesses. That's the biggest thing. We do have the one-on-one personalization and trying to help a lot of businesses out. And I think people really see that, and I think that really matters to a lot of the business owners in the Tri-City area.
Absolutely. Would you say you've seen a change in the Southern Virginia community over the past 5-10 years? If so, how has that change looked?
So for me, I'm retired military, so I've only been around for about 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
But I've been coming back to the community for 20 plus years while I was going through Fort Lee, 6 or 7 different rotations. And I've always loved the community, so that's why I retired here. And I have, over the last 8 years, really been involved with the chamber. I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of Colonial Heights was its own chamber, Petersburg was its own chamber, Dinwiddie was its own chamber. All three of them separated together, may not have worked as good separated, but when we all come together, we've got a lot of dynamic, and that just has really happened over the last 5 years, bringing all that together. And I think we've got a lot of fusion, a lot of good synergy going on between our business owners and the different county and the cities. And I think that is magical, and I think that's the reason why a lot of business owners are succeeding.
Yeah, that's a great recipe for success. Have you seen the same?
Yeah, since I've joined the chamber, it's definitely grown. It's helped my businesses, a tremendous amount. Just being able to, talk to other business owners, bounce ideas, and just knowing everybody's going to support you is a big thing, and just feeding back into the community and helping each other out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I could say one more thing,
Sure.
is that a lot of people don't know what the chamber's all about. They don't know. So they have their own business. They're out there. They do not know what the chamber is, and they don't know about all the free networking opportunities, the different classes and things like that, that most of them are free with your chamber membership. I mean, our membership is $225 a year. You can't beat that for the networking and the opportunities you have. And I really do think that that is special. We don't charge $500, $600, $700, $800 for chamber membership, and there's a lot that you get out of it. So the value is definitely there. And but there's a lot of businesses that don't know what the chamber is all about. And I do think if they just come to a luncheon or just come to one of the networking meetings and just try it out, they'll see what it's all about, and they'll be like, I want to be more involved in this, because there are a lot of businesses that are failing because they're not involved, they're not networking, they're not marketing properly, and we have people within the community that would help them out.
Yeah, and you guys are both business owners, right? So I'll let you talk more about your businesses in a second, but could you share some stories from where you've seen the chamber and just come together and rally around your business and help your business? Or maybe ways you've been able to help other businesses.
Yeah, I mean, for me, definitely, I started as a one-man show and built the business, and like I said, just everybody supports everybody, and that's the good thing. And I'm in a position where I'm very good at branding, and I have a lot of businesses come to me, wanting that information. How do you do it? What do you do? Things like that. So especially your brand new people, individuals, being able to support them and get them past that point of, of not knowing if it's going to work or if people are going to support them. It could be simple as a bakery or something and going to buy stuff and sharing it on social media on our platforms to go check them out.
Yeah, it's a great help. People underestimate how big of a push that can be.
Yeah.
I met Mike about 8 years ago when he put the HVAC into our escape room business down in Old Town Petersburg, and I really liked him. I thought he was a cool guy. He was awesome. I don't know if you were fully into the chamber at that point. Maybe you were. I'm not sure.
No, I wasn't.
But I found Mike a few years later, and I said, "Hey, you want to start a roofing company?" And so we got into roofing, and so we started a good partnership that way, because he's got incredible HVAC, incredible cleaning, and now we're both owners in RVA Roofing Services. I say that because within the chamber, you find good partners, you find good people to work with. I know I keep saying that over and over, but it's just a common theme. But that's we hold each other accountable, and at the same time, there's other business owners that we work with that are great, that are out there that we partner with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, touching back on you all's businesses, I guess tell me about your businesses. Tell the audience about your businesses. What do you guys do in a day to day?
Yeah, so I started Incredible HVAC back in 2011, and then I have Incredible Cleaning Services. Started in 2017, and then me and Ray, partnered and started RVA Roofing Services in 2020. My HVAC, company, I'd done that all my life, and started a business and just kind of ran with it and grown into a great company. Very involved with the community. So that's one of my big things is working with a lot of nonprofits and being able to be a Kiwanis member and an Optimist member and like helping your different organizations, throughout the community. And, we have started Tri-Cities Eats, where we're feeding the homeless and other people in the community, just having that support, through the community to be able to do other things and help other organizations, is really, really big for me.
I'll get to you right here in a second, but I want to bounce back. You said you started your own business. How old were you when you started this business?
Oh,
12.
I started in 2011.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know how I'm
About
43
to date yourself
now.
right here. Oh, there you did it.
Yeah, I'm 43. So Are we still?
We're still good. We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I started back in 2011. Started doing HVAC in 2000, straight out of high school, and I worked for a corporate company and kind of was doing side work, and then my corporate company divided, the different things that I did, and that's when I decided to start my company.
Launch.
Yep. So, and I started in 2011, and I actually I did everything besides install up to 2017. So,
wow.
So that time frame, I did all the phone calls, all the estimates, all the invoicing, and back then I did everything by paper. So,
and this is 2017. You're still choosing to do stuff by paper.
Yeah. Yep. So, I self-taught.
Yeah.
Went to a tech school right out of high school, and started HVAC as soon as I got out of that.
I think that's so important for people to hear is the fact that you went and just did what you were good at, and you did it all yourself. There's a short. It doesn't sound like it was a short period, but there's a period where you were just doing it all yourself, just carrying everything by yourself. But you got to where you are now, and I think a lot of people think that maybe they need a college degree, or maybe 10 years down the road they'll be able to do it, or they need some team under them in place before they can get there. But hearing stories like yours is so refreshing because it is possible. It's doable. It's hard. Nobody said it was easy, but it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like what I know now, I wish I would have, taken more risk or hired, coaches and used other platforms that I waited so long for, to make jobs more efficient and to be able to grow and everything. But like I said, I'm self-taught, no business college or anything like that. So
that's awesome. Good for you. That's exciting. It's exciting.
It is amazing.
Hey, Ray, how about you?
So I think from when we started the business, before that happened, when I was retiring out of the military, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't know, when you're transitioning out of the military, it's probably one of the scariest times in your life. So for me, I went in when I was 17, and I got out when I was right at 50, or right before 50, and now here I am. I was working as a contractor up on the base for a little bit as soon as I retired. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm just going to be a full-time entrepreneur. I did not know what I was doing. I did not know. And so I've learned a lot from Mike. I've learned a lot from other business owners. But in the military, I've done it for 29 years. And when you transition out and you start your own business, you just got to take the leap and you got to get in there and get busy. And I think that there's a lot of military that may do it but then fail because they don't know how, and they don't find the right people to hang on to and figure things out. And honestly, that's where I leaned on our chamber. I just started going to meetings while I was still in uniform, and I started showing up, and they're like, "Who's this guy?" And I was like, "I want to stick around," But finding the right people and finding help. That's why I'm so big on the chamber, is because I found good help. I did not know how to transition out of the military well. And I think that that's a big common problem with our military. And so they, may become just workers, but maybe not start their own business sometimes. Yet we'll still be fabulous business owners if we can figure that part out. But Mike and I, we started the roofing company 5 years ago with RoofMax. We moved it to RVA Roofing Service, and we're still moving out today.
That's awesome. I want to touch back again on something you said. Is you got out of the military, wanted to be full-time entrepreneur, but didn't know where to start.
Yep.
And you started by going to the chamber. Now, at this point, are you technically on paper retired, or retired, I guess, from the military?
I was like in my final year.
Okay.
I was in my final year. And so we turned around and started going to the chamber, and it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I see business owners in here.
Right.
And I just didn't know where to start. And
so what did you start doing? What was the first thing you picked up?
So I owned the escape room. So me and my family, my daughter, we started the escape room in Old Town Petersburg right about 8 years ago, and didn't know what we were doing. We went to an escape room, loved it, and I said, we're going to start one. And my daughter was freaking out. She's like, we don't know what we're doing. I said, neither did they when they got started. So we just kind of figured it out. And my son-in-law, Clayton, he's an amazing builder. And so he got in there and he built out all the rooms. And so it was great having his technical ability. We bought a building in Petersburg, rehabbed it, but at the same time built it for the escape room to be able to have the neat little compartments and all the stuff that you need to make it really fun. And we built out 4 escape rooms, and we ran that for 8 years. We just sold it this past February. I still own the building and lease it out to them, but a great military family has taken that over. But that's how I got started. And then, after we kind of got that up and running, that's when I reached over to Mike and says, "Hey, you want to start another company?" And that's when it's like, "Yeah, let's try it out." But I think we had good personalities with each other, and I think that's real important.
It is.
That to find a good partner was Mike and I pretty much just did a handshake deal back when we first got started. I don't recommend that, but it worked out great. It worked out great for us. A couple years later, we put everything on paper. But I say that because I trusted Mike and he trusted me. If not, we would not have started the partnership.
Yeah.
And I think that after we did all of our paperwork and put everything in, now we're more cemented. But nothing's changed. We still lean on each other. He gives me advice. I try to give him advice. He doesn't take it. But we go back and forth with that. And we help each other out in our own business world. And I think it's important that you have a sounding board out there in the business world. I think that's super important to have, and I think you got to have people that you trust around you, and that's the most important thing in dealing with business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a common theme here, is you guys didn't have a template and you just went for it on both of your businesses. Which I love to see. I talked about this just a second ago, but people assume that you need a template, or the people who have been successful had a template. But really, they haven't. They just went after it, and they were hungry and humble and just got dirty and did it.
I've got to sign them off. It says entrepreneur, building the plane on the way down. And, and that's honestly, I think that's what we've both done. And honestly, you're going to get the grit that comes with figuring it out and get slapped in the face and getting told no and then getting back up and doing it again. And not wearing the no on your shoulder, not wearing the chip on your shoulder, and just moving forward, because you're going to fail. Mm-hmm. You're going to fail in business world. You might as well get used to it, and you got to figure out how to stand back up and go after it and go get it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The military probably trained you well for that, I would assume.
I've gotten kicked in the teeth a lot in the military too.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's super exciting. I love to see that in the community. You mentioned nonprofits before we started. Tell me a little bit about the nonprofits that are active in the Southern Virginia Chamber, and just their mission.
That's more Mike.
Yeah. So, there's tons of nonprofits. The James House, Recovery of Hope, your Regenesis. There's a whole bunch of nonprofits.
James House.
What is the James House?
So the James House helps domestic violence situations, sex trafficking situations. They basically house people. So that's been probably one of the bigger ones that a lot of small businesses have been helping this past year. They lost like $200,000 in grants and sponsorships, and they house about 30 families. Oh, wow. So, just simply as a group text with a bunch of business owners saying, hey, they're out of food. They need to fill their food pantry, and all of us getting together and rallying up and putting it on our social media to make that happen. So, there's a lot of situations like that. And for me, I work with a lot of nonprofits and I sponsor a lot of events and stuff like that. And what I've realized is they all have resources or things that, that they need. And one nonprofit may have that resource that the other one doesn't. And, they're not sharing it. So I'm kind of that in-between person that I'm helping a lot of the nonprofits work together and realizing they can make a bigger impact in the community by doing things together and not individually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe you won an award for something like this. Best of the best.
Chamber gave it to him here recently for his great work that he's done with the nonprofits and just raising money for a lot of different organizations. He won't tell you a lot about it. I will. But he's the stuff that he's done from the hurricane from last year to starting the food donations every Monday. I mean, he got a group that's going to donate their space every Monday, and he gets different business owners to give them the food, and they even deliver it out to different places in Petersburg or Colonial Heights. But the stuff that he's done has helped cement another whole group within the Tri-Cities of people that can't really speak for themselves, and you kind of just look past every day when you're driving by them. And I think that's super important. Mike saw the need, and he's really jumped on board to help a lot of the people, the less fortunate that's in the area, to try to give them a leg up.
Yeah, so we're feeding about 80 people every Monday now, from homeless to temporary housing, the carriage house in Old Town Petersburg, the library in Petersburg. They allow people to hang out in there that are need shelter. So pretty much it's a standard every Monday. We know we're going to get the phone call of, hey, there's this many people there, and we package up the food and take it to them. So, and like I said, just doing this, Thanksgiving, we fed 200 people, and we had some meals that we were taking to some hotels, and I met Sean with Hope on the Streets, and he's basically got the same vision. They're doing the same thing. So just last week I went to one of his events and, see how they do it and, how we can work together. We did a toy drive for Christmas Eve, and he had some extra toys and brought the toys to us. So just really getting all these different nonprofits to come together and work together has, been a real good success.
And I'll say one more thing is he raised, was it $20,000 for Chair of the Love?
Yeah.
So he gave $20,000 to people that are in third world countries that cannot afford a wheelchair. And Mike went on a tour. Where'd you go?
Yeah, so I went to Nicaragua, and we did the distribution, and we're able to give out the 100 wheelchairs that I donated, basically, plus another. It was 1,500, I think, total that were distributed. But I learned about that organization. Ray runs a real estate group, and that's really how we became more connected. He started out of the escape room running a real estate group. Everything's totally free, and it's just teaching about real estate. And I bought my first rental house in 2017, basically, learning from the group and all, and that's where we kind of came close with each other. But there was a real estate Christmas party, and I learned about Chair to Love and all the different investors and things that go on these trips, and the impact that they make. So I wanted to be part of that. So thankfully, with my HVAC company, I was able to do a certain portion of every install we did until we hit that goal.
That's awesome.
And food banks. He donates a lot of the food banks on the Colonial Heights
Yeah.
food bank and stuff. I can go on and on about this guy, but I mean, that's why he got the award for just all the great contributions he does for the community. And he just does that out of his heart. And he won't brag about it or get into it much, but I'll do it for him because he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's great. That's encouraging. How do you guys think we can get more business owners to take part in things like this?
So, I mean, really, it depends on the business. So, but most of your businesses, especially in the Colonial Heights area, are part of the chamber. Like I said, they're all willing to help. So, Christmas, I go around Christmas Day and give out a bunch of gift cards, and usually I'm reaching out to businesses, or we might do a giveaway and do a basket and reaching out to businesses, to get them to donate, small items or gift cards or whatever it is. And like I said, really just getting everybody to work together. So, I mean, Kelsey's about to start a group with younger people, in the chamber and businesses to start a round table for them and get the younger generation to really get involved and start doing more stuff for the nonprofits and stuff in the community.
That's very important. The younger generation definitely needs to step up into the marketing world, or the networking world, rather.
And I will say this: you're talking about how more businesses can get involved. We had a Christmas party called Claws for the Cause. And we raised over $3,000, which was great for James House, for Holiday Helper up on the base that gives the different toys and stuff like that to military kids that maybe can't afford it. And then Chair of the Love, so $1,000 to each of them. And we're giving it to them next week at the Chamber Luncheon, which is awesome. But between myself, Mike, and then Trish Palmer with B&T Towing, we started reaching out to our friends. And next thing you know, we probably had over 100 items to donate.
Wow.
And so that was donated, and people would put money into it and for the raffles and stuff like that. And that was like the highlight of the night. But because of that, I'm just saying that there's synergy between Mike, Trish, and a few others in the community that you can reach out to, say, hey, I got $100, I got $50, I got a can of dog food, some dog food and stuff, because we also work with people that give out to the kennels and things like that.
Sure.
So it's not just people, but it's pets in the community and stuff like that. There's need for all that. And I think just our people talking about it and finding, how to give, all you got to do is reach out, and we'll find places for it to go that's going to help a lot of people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Guys, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm going to wrap up here in a minute. But before I do, I wanted to ask, I always ask everybody this, special members of the community, or maybe even people in your life that you just like to thank that helped you get to where you are, or that just helped your business. Like, let me know. Who are they?
Go ahead.
I mean, definitely, for me, like I said, I was self-taught and basically did all my promoting and everything on my own. So joining the chamber and meeting John and Ray, and then, just networking and meeting more people, that really helped me grow my business, and then form a business, really made a big difference for me.
Yeah.
For me, of course, Mike and the group that he just talked about, and John Brandt, and quite a few others within the chamber. But more personally, my wife, been married to her for almost 35 years, and she's a school teacher. She's down at Dinwiddie, and I have dragged her all over the world for 30 plus years, and she's taught all over the world. And I think just there's a lot for school teachers, and it's just a lot to that. She's been my yin to my yang, and she always tells me when I'm biting off too much and stuff like that. So, special thanks to her, Debbie, for giving me the strength to move forward. She's my rock. I don't tell her, but she is.
Yeah. That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I appreciate you guys coming on today. If there's anything I missed, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay, go.
I do everything I'm doing for this next generation. I've got grandkids. I got 5 grandkids out there, 2 kids, and families. And I think as business owner, you got to figure out how you're going to leave it to the next generation so it doesn't die when you leave this earth. And I think that's one of the biggest things to think about, is how you're going to leave it to the next generation, whether you're going to sell it, whether you're going to finance it, whether you're going to leave it to your kids. I do think that's a huge topic to get into and thinking about, and get your wills done, and business partnerships, and do things the right way. I do think that that's huge, and you have to spend a little bit of time getting into that.
Absolutely. Legacy is...
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yep.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
really
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.